said, you know what, I'm finished. I will not even try to be humble about it. I knew I was going to be successful. I know the kind of thing that we see on this job that you just have to be singing praises and be and be happy. If not, once a project starts, you are having plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan F. Can I knock this table?
Yes.
I've knelt down for crying before. Say, who is someone like me? And in 1 minute and 34 seconds, I sold myself to him.
Hello, Mrs. Mo, or Morenike Mulei.
Hello, Mr. Jegs.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Welcome once again
Thank
to
you.
Mr. Jegs Africa. This is See You Unscripted. I'm very excited that you're here.
I'm excited as well.
I have a lot to ask you, and I'm sure she needs no introduction. Hey, she's Morenike Mulei. I'll go directly to Okantik. How did you come about the name Okantik?
So that's very interesting. And thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. My interior design journey started about 10 years ago, and I remember that while we were trying to set up the business, obviously like business name was one of the key things, right? What would you be identified as? I mean, like when children are giving birth to, they have to do naming ceremony. You have to be named to be identified. But so I remember, and thankfully, my husband is a strategist, so where he works, he's head of strategy, and so these are some of the things that come natural to him. Me, I've chosen Modeco, as per Morenike and Deco, so like Modeco, and it was like Modeco doesn't sound, it just looks like a one-man small business type of thing, and it was like, let's think about a name that 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 20 years, 30 years, you won't have to be doing so much work rebranding and having to change name when the momentum of the business has already gone up. So let's look for a name now that can stand the test of time. And I said, okay, no problem. And so for me, my best color is brown. And so I was like, okay, what connotes brown? And so you will see that furniture pieces, and because interior as well, you have brown. So where do you make furniture from? Usually from like trees. I was like, okay, let's name the company based off on trees. And then we began to look at names of trees, and the oak tree and the teak tree stood out because of stability, success, endurance. I mean, like some of the things that as a business you want to have. And the oak tree is a tree that it connotes like national tree for most of the countries in the world. So if you have about, I think we have like maybe 190 something countries in the world, more than 90% of those countries, the oak tree is their identity. So I was like, okay, because we would, serve nations, that really stood out. I mean, so that's like the reason why we then chose oak and teak. And we decided not to, add anything to it, interiors or whatever, because we wanted it to be like an umbrella name, group name, so that if there are any companies that come out of it, it's under the oak and teak.
Like Amazon.
Exactly. So I mean, like today, people still reach out to me and say, "Oh my God, that your company name, it sounds like a company that is international." I said, "Yeah, the company is international. It's international because it's rooted in Nigeria. Doesn't mean that it's not international." So yeah, so that's how the Okantik name came about.
Thank you very much for sharing that. So, it seems like you just started and boom, you started making a lot of money.
I love it.
So
I love to hear things like that.
You started making a lot of money from
I
the
love
go.
it. I love
so,
it.
the journey from the beginning, was it easy? How did you learn? If you can just take us through. We know that you are now a success, hence you're here, right?
Hallelujah.
So, were there challenges? Did you see yourself getting here? I think that's a major question. Did you see yourself getting here? And it's never a straight line, but hey, it's a trick question. Was it a straight line for you?
So I will not even try to be humble about it. I knew I was going to be successful.
Hey.
And the kind of person that I am is the kind of person that if I decide to do something, I'm just like, there's no other option. So for me, I've always had like that mentality, right? So I think I was in my head, the only thing was starting.
Yes.
Once I start, that's for me. I'm like, that's just it. So starting out at the time, because I have 2 degrees in mathematics.
Amazing.
And I'm so proud to always say this because
they
it's
can't
not
cheat
easy.
you.
They cannot. When I'm sleeping, I mean, like the accountant is saying 1 or 2 things, like maybe she omitted something. I'm like, oh, even though I'm not looking at any system, I can tell that Mr. Jagade is maybe owing us, maybe no, you.
No. Disclaimer: I am not owing I do not owe.
Nothing. So you get like, so
get
it just comes, natural. I mean, I was also speaking to her 2 days ago, and she was trying to, get percentage of something, and she was doing the whole, or maybe 1 million times 0.5 over 100. I was like, no, just multiply. Anyways, that's by the way.
Yeah.
But,
So you're a mathematics guru.
if you say so, I will accept it.
Hey. Okay. So it was, you're saying that you saw yourself being very successful. So you saw yourself getting here, right? And did you get here at the time you wanted to? Or was it longer than you thought it would be? Or did it seems like it was a straight line from what you're saying.
So not necessarily like a straight line. So first off, like before I started, I thought I'd work in the corporate world, like financial institutions. I mean, and that's why I went ahead to do my second degree in financial mathematics and computation. I wanted to come back to Nigeria and then work either at a financial institution or a consulting firm. And when I came back, I actually got a job at a consulting firm, and I worked there for a couple of months before the company was trying to relocate to the north, but I couldn't go. I was just newly married and I was heavily pregnant at the same time, so I had to resign. So it wasn't. I think it was like year one of my marriage that I decided to now take it up as a business. But at the time, I was just doing it on the side, right? So that I'll get another job, but from the job I would learn things like discipline, how to run a company, structure, processes, so that it will help me in my own business. So I know that even though I started Okantik, I didn't leave structured environments in quotes to like 5 years after.
Wow.
Yes. So I mean, like we had done that, and it doesn't look. So now it almost looks like you have everything figured out. But every day we are learning. We're not perfect. We still make mistakes here and there. But I mean, like, we have bigger bandwidth now to be able to accommodate mistakes and quickly correct it even before the clients would see. So I mean, in the 10 years we have grown, and that's the beauty of success, like that organic growth, growing, learning from mistakes, growing, and just growing gradually. So for me, I would not say that it has taken longer than when I envisioned. Everything is actually playing out as. So let me not even lie. It's not like I even said, by year 10 you would have had like all of this. My own is just that continue to churn out value, and just let your work be progressive.
So when did you know? You said you were working for 5 years. When did you decide to leave your paid employment?
Yes.
And what informed that decision?
Okay, so 2 years before then, I'd wanted to leave, and I mean, like most people that have reached out to me that had like similar situations, I'd already started 2 years before I eventually moved. I'd already started making more than my year salary in like 2 months or 3 months, and it was like, you can leave now. If you leave now, you'll be fine. If it's just one project, it won't be more than like your entire year salary. So what are you still doing here? But I remember, discussing with my husband, and then we looked at it, and he was like, I don't think it's time for you to leave yet. You haven't learned some certain things that, as a CEO, if it's thrown at you, you might not be able to, you're not matured yet to handle such. Even though I thought, what's the big deal? But I'm grateful that I stayed, right? So that's one. Then two, the time that I now knew was when I was taking too many excuses from the office. I would have to, because what I used to do before was 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, and then between 6 and 10 I was doing like my my private business. Then weekend, Saturday and Sunday, so it was like round the clock. So at the point where I knew, in fact, before I even resigned, I already had 2 staff working already. Right, so they even had like their own office, and I was still overseeing and still doing my 9 to 5. But I knew at the point where our orders were now getting so much that it was not affecting my current business, and I just thought that it would not be fair on my employer, and I decided to resign.
Okay, so it's always been rosy.
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Are there moments you wanted to throw in the towel?
I mean, so the only time that I felt that way, to be honest, was 2020.
COVID.
And yes, COVID.
We're going to go there.
COVID, but anytime I say this, people always think that is the downside. Mine was the opposite.
Really?
Yes. So it was too much work that wanted me to quit. Yeah, I know. It sounds like absurd. Yes,
Too
I know.
much work.
Too much work. So everyone had been locked down for like 6 weeks in their homes.
Now they could
They
see
could
their
see
houses.
every nook
Oh,
and
wow.
cranny of the house. Like people used, Lagos now. People would leave by maybe 5 a.m. It's still dark.
Yeah.
By the time you're coming back home, it's dark already. So you just literally go back to your room. But this time during COVID, you're going to the kitchen, you're going to the living room, toilet, bathroom. You're seeing
Yeah.
everything in daylight, very
Wow.
bright. So immediately after COVID, the lockdown was lifted, just started getting lots of calls that, oh, I need to do my house, I need to do my home office, I need to do this, I need to do that. And so it was now getting too much. And we did not, it was still the same capacity of people that we had.
Yeah.
But so now you're having almost like ×5, ×6 of the regular orders. Obviously, it was now telling on them. And then in the midst of it, I think that's where I now broke down. Two people now resigned on the same day, or maybe 24 hours apart. Now,
Wow.
we didn't have enough capacity already, and then we now had like 2 people. If I just sat down on the floor and said, you know what, I'm finished, I'm not doing it again. I think that my husband can take care of me. Let me just, go
Wow.
back to and be doing housewife work. And Mama said, please, I don't want you to do I don't want you to do housework. Oh, housewife, I beg. We need this money, please. Okay,
Yes.
don't worry. What's the problem? Take your time. So I sat, took a deep breath, began to process. Okay, so this is the challenge, Abby. Your challenge is a good challenge,
Yes.
my darling. So, okay, how can we make this work? And then we just, we strategized again.
Yeah.
And it was tough. Obviously, we definitely made many mistakes. But what I learned from there was, there are certain times where you would need to move to the next level.
Yeah.
On your current level, because you've already mastered it, it's fine. You will be cruising on autopilot. By the time you need to move to the next level, that comes with like a bigger responsibility. That comes with, you need to be prepared for it. And that's why I always worry when people want on their first year that they already want to blow, they already want everything to be set and fine. I'm like, there's some successes that if you pray for, if God decides to give it to you, it's that same success that will ruin you and bring you down because you're not even prepared and you don't have the capacity for it, which is very, very important. So I mean, like that was the only time that I wanted to throw in the
It was a good problem.
It was a good problem, but now it looks, even the people here, it's like it's a good problem. Why would you? But when it's happening to you, you won't understand what I'm saying. Like it wasn't even funny because integrity is a very big thing for me, and in terms of like churning out at the deliver time to the client, and then now we are now saying, oh, so sorry, we'd have to, please give us like extra 2 weeks, give us extra 1 month. They were things because the artisans, the staff, they were all like overwhelmed. So mistakes here and there were just happening, costing us more money. So that's the angle in which that really affected.
How were you able to move during COVID? Because you needed to visit clients' houses, etc.
No. So at the time when we were moved, the lockdown had been eased. So this was like May, I think like second week in May or so. So however, we had like one client that we're working for. So when COVID, the lockdown started, like I think ending of March, we're just completing his project. So we just needed like a week to complete. And we did not, how COVID was that time. You did not know when this thing was going to be over, whether it was 1 month to sit down at home, 6 months or 1 year. But he gave us a pass because he had like government connect and all that. So we had like that official tag, and then we completed the project. But then we didn't now do anything during the 6 weeks lockdown. What we just did was because we knew that this opportunity might not come again for the staff, we said, okay, we'll use this period to take courses. We use this period, to even bond. Let's discuss challenges. We did even challenge. Okay, the clients that are our fans on Instagram, what can we do for them? So people, sent in entry. We did like a challenge where people would send in their entries for their living room, bedrooms, bathrooms, and then we'll choose 10 and do like a design makeover for them. So we'll give it to them for free, and this is something that we charge heavily for. So I mean, like we had like over 1,000 entries, and so we had to choose like top 10. I mean, so we had to find things that were engaging, both to us, both to staff, both to the clients and Instagram fans. So that period we really maximized it.
Very interesting. You said 2 people left 24 hours
apart.
Did they tell you why?
Okay, so one, we were already having challenges with him, so we were even going to let him go. But I think he could read the room, and so he decided to resign, which was for me was even good.
Yes.
And then the second person, she just said that she couldn't deal with the mental stress. Like it was too much. It was
Is it Gen Z?
my brother. Yes, very
Oh, man.
extremely very. There are some that maybe they are tilting towards millennial, but this one is a Gen.
Gen Z.
If I use Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. In fact,
I'm telling
yeah.
you,
So
wow.
she's like, "Oh my God, this is too much."
What
I
is it
was
with
like,
mental
okay,
health?
should we get you a therapist? Like, we'll pay for a therapist. Go
Yes.
sit down with someone that will. So
Yes.
no, at this point, that she just wants to go and breathe. I'm like, okay, no problem. And
Wow.
that was the year. So again, she couldn't handle the stress
work.
and the pressure at the time. Like I said, it was a lot. Even me, I even wanted to throw in the towel. So that's what happened.
So, you're also, before we get to grow with Rennie, looking back at your journey, what are you most proud of? It's over 10 years
Yes,
in business.
yes, in business.
Most businesses don't
I know, even
get
the first 2
in
years.
fact, first 2 years, I think 40% of businesses are out. Then, I think on the 5th year, maybe 50%.
I think it's even more than that.
Yeah,
I
on the
think it's more
10th
than
year,
that.
only 25%. Either 10th or 15th year,
Yeah,
only 25%.
I think it's
So,
more than that.
You've overcome the onslaught,
Thank God.
of starting a business.
Yes.
So, what are you most proud of in your journey? 10 years.
10 years. I mean, I think that the fact that I know that at the beginning I said that let me not be humble, that I knew that we were going to be successful. But even there's sometimes where you're so sure about something, but it still doesn't now come out the way you wanted. So I'm grateful that has happened. And I think that what I'm also most grateful for is the number of lives that we have touched.
Yeah,
So not
we're
just
going
even the clients that we go in to transform their spaces, but also people that have worked and be able to earn a living because of the brand. I mean, it overwhelms me with gratitude because sometimes it might just be maybe that Tyler that we think that we are giving maybe 50,000 naira to do a project. Now for him, he has other dependents, his wife, his children, that woman, the ripple effect, exactly. So for me, when I think about it, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I'm so grateful. I know that when I started, I didn't think about it in that light, but now that motivates and inspires me. Honestly, I'm just like, I mean, I have artisans that have bought cars, from this business, that have gotten married, and some of them have bought land, they're about to start building their homes. And somebody was saying, one of my team members was saying, as we turned 10 few weeks ago, and he was saying that he's so grateful. He's been at Okantik for just 3 years, but he has realized that everybody that passes through Okantik, they always move to the next level if they are living or if they are still here. Yes,
good.
and then I look back and I realized that like 95% of our staff, it's either they are going to start up their own business or they are relocating abroad. So like for you to find someone that works in Okantik and then go and work in another interior design company is extremely slim. So I mean, and that's just one angle. And then people just seeing growth in their personal lives. I mean, I know I pray for them, and I know that I carry grace, I carry there's oil on my head, and it flows and all that. But I'm just so grateful to see that. So I think that's what I'm most proud of. Just influencing
culture.
and the culture, influencing, and also having people's lives transformed through this business.
So you said most of them go to start their own businesses. So talking about starting businesses.
Yes.
So this young man, young lady wants to start an interior decor business. You're no longer just interior decor. You're like a design thinking, design
Yes,
everything.
yeah, interior design company.
Right.
Yes.
So, what are the top 3 things you advise this person? You want to go into this business, avoid this pitfall, do this, do that. Go. And if it's more than 3, please shoot.
So I would say first off, be clear that you really want to do this, because I've seen so many people that they want to go into interior design or like this industry just because of the aesthetics of it. That, oh my goodness, it's so cute. It's so. The person I said that left because of mental health and all that. She started as an intern. So when she started and she came on site first and she saw how she's like, oh my god, I thought we just walk into the way we see it on Instagram. I didn't know that we had to be doing this, chasing artisans, doing that. I said, my dear, that's the last part. The ones before you have to work. So some people don't really understand that angle. So they need to be very sure, because it will test your patience. It will test, like my husband at some point to tell me that he will be recording me when I'm on the phone, and I don't normally shout, but for some reason they make me raise my voice more than the normal pitch that God has already given to me. And it's like my wife just transformed. She's even speaking Yoruba, pidgin, everything all together, and it's just like wow. So that's what it can do to you. Like it brings the best
out of you.
It brings the best out of you. So that's one. Then two, I would say be patient, right? You would start, and don't expect everything to just begin to. I mean, my prayer is always that on your first year, you're already like raking in millions and billions. But if you're being realistic, you need to do the work as well. So be patient. I'll also say that understand people. I try to study people and know how to now communicate and relate with them. The way I relate with you is different from the way I relate with another person. I'll give like an example. So maybe like a client A wants us to, and from consultation I always say pick these things. There's some clients that from the beginning they want, when they're executing your project, they want you to be giving them updates every single day or maybe twice in a week. And then there are some that
I fall into that category.
no, you will know yourself now. No, let me say this. Second ones are, don't tell me anything. Like that's the reason why we hired you. You are the professional. Don't ask me what color do you. And some people you just need approval from. Just one small, it's already upsetting them that I don't want to even get involved. So understand. So I had one project manager who I just finished working with a client that wanted updates every single day. Like if you don't send updates, she'll feel like you've jackpot with them. With their one, yes. So we were doing that. So immediately she was done with that. She now moves to another client who, because of the experience she just had, and obviously she's just coming out from someone, and she was used to that for like 3 months. So naturally, she just started giving this person update that, by the way, this was the task that we did for today. Blah blah blah. The person was mostly nice. Okay, it's okay. Second time she did. Second time, third time. But the fourth time like this, she just changed it for that. Excuse me, please. I don't want to see you just come do the work and get out of my place. So you need to understand people. That's the client angle. Wow. Then for artisans as well, because almost every day you are dousing one fire or the other. Generally they have like a reputation of not of just doing anyhow. In terms of like at this. we're still addressing one like 2 weeks ago where the project manager was saying that the artisan, he called the artisan, he was on site already. Alpha or Oga, I'll not mention his name so that in case his family members are watching. Alpha, how are you? This was on a Tuesday. Oga, I'm on Falomo Bridge. So okay, no problem. So okay, in another 2 hours, because it's Ikoyi, it's going to from Falomo to Ikoyi, maybe like 20 minutes. So 3 hours, he did not come. 6 hours, he did not come. The end of the day, his phone was now off. Wednesday again, he called him that how far mo wan follow mo.
The next day.
Yeah, the next day I wan follow mo. The guy waited again from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. He not show up. Then Thursday afternoon. Emma be follow me. Mo she wan follow mo bye, but Emma were 10 minutes. Emma read me. He eventually showed up on Thursday. But how can you even follow more from Tuesday to Thursday? So, and we were addressing it with him, and he was just like, man, I just said, okay, maybe the name of the streets on the mainland in Falomo, so maybe that's what he was. But obviously that was not the reason. So, like you have like things like this, but what we try to do on our own end is, because they don't work with us directly. I mean, like these artisans and these contractors and vendors. I mean, like I don't know what businesses other people are doing, but there's no way you will not still work with, even if it's baking, you will still probably have to work with people that will supply you flour, that will supply you something. I'm sure for your business as well, you need like people that will do that. So so everybody ties up to make yours successful. So what we do is that we have like trainings and sit down with them every 6 months.
Wow.
So we share the vision of the company.
But as a young business person, will you start training those
so maybe not training. So maybe like in terms of, so what we do is, at least what we do every 6 months is we communicating the vision of the company, like just the indoctrination. Okay, in case you forgot 6 months ago, we will do it. It will remind you what we stand for, what we want. Letting them know the vision of the company, that this is where we are going to, and we really, if you know that you really want to be on that train with us, these are the things that are expected of you, and everything. So we just keep saying it. So they are not 100% perfect, but at least I know that 100% of them they are better than how they started with us. So as a business owner, in fact, the last time that we had with them, I think it was last week, they sit down, you know, I now went ahead to ask them that, okay, you guys, how do you want Okantik to help your business? So because if I share this one now, maybe it's supposed to scatter. Because some of them, their own staff, like their own boys or their own, you know, unskilled laborers, they also in turn affect us. So maybe we are training the Oga person that we are giving the job to directly. Then he also has other boys that would be helping, that will be working with him. If those ones are also, their head is not correct, it will affect him and then it will affect us. I mean, there was one time, I think 5 years ago, I don't know if I can mention this, but I'll still say it last. 5 years ago, we had like a project, and you know, we had given like the furniture guy to do work for us, everything. And the client, we told the client that, oh, that should move out of the house for like few days so that we can quickly, like, you know, transform and all that. So only for my project manager to call me and say, Ma, you don't know what happened this morning. I said, what happened? So the night before they've all gone, but some guys had to sleep on site so that the work can be faster. By the time she came back the next morning, and this was like on the mainland, somewhere in Ikeja. But then she came back in the morning, she found used condom on the client's matrimonial bed. And that's not the guy directly that we gave the job to, the person that he was working for just went to take one girl from the street and decided to do that nonsense. And as God will now have it, the client was, the husband was coming in. She just entered, the project manager, she just entered 5 minutes before the client. So she quit with her hand safe, because at that point, exactly, I know, that's what I'm like, I don't. So she grabbed everything, like, had to quickly just, so that the client, because at that point, the client has seen it, that was the end. He might even carry me to police station. So these are the kind of things that I know, the kind of things that we see on this job, that you just have to be singing praises and be and be happy. If not, it can turn your head upside down.
My God.
I know. I mean, like,
and young business people will just look at you and say, "Oh, you have it easy," or you just you know on your page you just see one old apartment,
and then
and suddenly
bam, miracle.
And you guys don't do like this.
Miracle has happened, but you don't know the things that are happening between.
God.
Like this and like this. That is a lot of things that has happened. So that's why I said that, you know, managing people is extremely
key. So
it's very key.
They should learn how to manage people. They should be patient. From what you said, be ready for the unexpected.
That one.
Does it ever go?
No. So that's what I was about to say now. That for me, I've just found out now that when a project starts, you are having plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan F. So it was before that when things don't go the way it is, I will start crying. I have to be here. But now it's just like
factored it in
so that it doesn't really shake you that much. Last, I always say the two things that will happen is that you spend more money and you spend more time. So if you already if you're following a work schedule, for example, maybe you know that this project will finish in 10 weeks. By the 7th week, ideally, you should already know whether you complete by 10th week or not. If you can do miracle and it will, and that's if you didn't have challenges. But if you have challenges, I know by 7th week, already begin to communicate to the client so that the client, you know, isn't, but that's the most important person on, you know, this value chain. So let them know, prepare their mind. So that's that. Okay, it will cost us 2 more weeks, but we'll be done. And we're so sorry. We'll make up for it some way, and then it will also cost you more money. So once you have that figured out, like they say, have shame money. Have shame money. Because there's some people that, because they don't want to spend extra, they become nasty, and they become nasty to the clients, and the clients are, you know, back and forth with us. In the 10 years, there's no, and we've done over 400 residential projects, over 80 commercial projects. Nobody, can I knock this table?
Yes.
Nobody can come out and say that Okantik did not complete their project, and did not leave their the projects on a clean slate. We might fight maybe during the project. I mean, I'm a woman of peace. Normally, but sometimes violence can come once in a while. Not from me, maybe from the client side. Before, you know how they say now that if two people are fighting, if the second person decides that they don't want to fight, at the end of the day, the person that is throwing punches will look like the fool. Calm down. So we had situations like that where, you know, even if for me to kneel down, I've knelt down for a client before, and it's not my fault. It's not my own fault, but I will kneel down, hold the client's leg, that we are sorry, see, this one, don't worry, we'll refund your money. You know, just be at peace, because I know that even though it's for the money, we are doing this, you know, to make profit, but it's beyond that. I've had a client who I feel like, should not be listening to one of the worst clients ever. And we had like, you know, it was during that COVID time too. And we had that period where when I want to sleep in the night, I used to pray to God, because I don't know, for some reason she now used to send messages around midnight. So if you pick up your phone and see, you won't be able to sleep for the next 6 hours, because you can't really do anything, because you need, you know, to quickly call maybe an artisan, and I can't be calling my staff or my my colleagues at the time, you know, at that time. So anyways, to cut long story short, that time, you know, I knew that this woman, Laila, she can never call me for work again.
Yeah.
Now, it's like 2 or 3 people she has referred us to.
Wow.
And I think that it's not, I know that it's because of the way we settled and ensured that the relationship is first, you know, because you don't want to remember you leave a bad taste in someone's mouth. It's very hard, but you just have to, you know, rise above pride and ego and all of that, and just make peace with all men. That's my own philosophy. I want clients now that my team members, they think that I should take them to court, but I'm just like, don't worry, court of heaven will help me to sort it out.
Is that okay? Court of heaven is good, but should you allow people to just probably the person probably didn't pay or something?
Yes, like they are balanced, but then they were, you know, it's just a long thing, sharp, and that's the only person I would say that has misbehaved like that. But the thing is, to be honest, and that's one thing about me. Once I look at the situation and, you know, maybe something went bad, I try to analyze and see, okay, why did this happen? What can I learn from it? You know, so when I went back from the beginning, I knew that we're not supposed to take that project.
I see.
But we were cash trapped. Okay. Right, so we had monies in investment, but I didn't want to have to start breaking them, and then we needed money. So this particular project came, and, you know, it was going to like inject money, and I was like, okay, no problem, let's just take it. But from the onset, I already knew. So now going forward, I don't know, no matter how much you are cash strapped, if you are I mean, there are already signs for us. Somehow, you know, in the way our process and structure is, we can already tell some clients that will be problematic, even though the project, except they can pay. So what we now do is that we send someone very problematic. And I'm saying it with my full chest, we'll most likely charge you times 5, so that at least if the problem comes, you know that it was what is. What that happens, and what that happens is that I found out that the ones that give us the most problems
are the ones that pay
the least. And it's almost like, I'm really doing you a favor here, but the fact that money has got into your own hands, that's it. Like, they are like your mini gods. So for me, I've seen that pattern, and I'm just like, you know what, it will never happen again.
Have you ever had to refund a customer and say, we're not doing this?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. So small money, big money. So the last one that happened, it doesn't happen a lot, maybe like it just happened like 2 times. So the first one was maybe recently, maybe like 3 weeks ago. It wasn't even me, it was just, you know, and this is why it's good to listen to your team members and, you know, let them be outspoken and open enough to share things. So our head of operation that said that this particular client, it's just consultation. We never started the work. It's just for us to come to your space, look at it, and then, you know, do designs and all that. The client was already asking us as a company that we should bring our CAC form, we should bring all our registration, our board of directors. I'm not joking.
With the tax agency.
At some point, honestly, I just said, maybe it's Lagos State, all these people that just try to find different, because we've had one person do that. I was like, why are we bringing? In many first one, I said me that I should bring my DNA and my kidney and my marriage certificate and all that. So anyways, my head of operation said, "Ma, just let's give it." So I said, "Okay, no problem." I asked my husband for you know, advice, and he said, "Yeah, just give it. Not like you're hiding anything." I said, I feel like nobody, even banks and big, you know, HNI clients that we've worked for, they don't ask us for all these things. Anyway, so no problem. So we gave it to him. We looked at it. He said, okay, no problem. So he would say, we say we have consultation days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. He said, no, my own, you have to come. Nah. I said, we cannot come. Anyway, long story short, we told him consultation amount is this amount. By the time he was paying, he left 5,000. I said, why are you removing 5,000 naira again from all this stress? I said, this person, after we've told you that this is how much we are charging, we've told you explicitly that's how much, and you still remove 5,000 naira. I said, please, let me just tell him that he should send us his account details. We'll refund him back.
The consultation fee.
Oh yeah, we didn't go for the consultation. We just refunded him because already at that point, you know that this person.
And how did he take it?
I don't know. I don't really care. I don't know, maybe the head of operations. I mean, and then there was another one where the husband had given us a job, and this part, you know, like I said, integrity is very big for me.
Yeah.
The wife wanted us to add money on it, so that when the husband pays us, we will now give her the excess money, because in our words, her husband is stingy, he doesn't give her money, blah blah blah. So she's finding, I was like, that's normal. That's people's family problem. I'm a professional here and everything, and so. And then when she was giving so much problems and all that, so I just told the man that, oh, they're so sorry that I would like to refund the money back for the project and all that. We are not just comfortable with the dealings here. For some reason, I don't know how it happened, but maybe he found out, maybe the wife went to, you know, confess and all that, and you know, he was like, oh, they're so sorry that I don't know. So the wife came to apologize. I was like, I should not worry, I should not add any money, that we should just do the project. And then he paid us back again, and then we did the project. Yeah,
that's interesting.
I know.
Oh, could that have, it couldn't have been a test if they apologized? Because I
don't even know whether it was a test or whether it was. I don't know.
Really
Mine does that. It's not my business. Mine does that.
You're a person of integrity.
Yes. So principles, you know, that guide me, and that's how we acted, and that happened. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
So there's Oak and Take Foundation.
Yes.
There's Grow with Rainy. I saw a video where you renovated a school.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's schools,
yes, and hospitals. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It is, yes.
Okay, so is that for show, or is that CSR so that you can? It's not a trick question.
No, I understand.
Like, let me just ask you like this: what's the strategy behind it? Tell us the strategy. Like, don't. Some people do it to feel good. Some people do it to look good. Like, what was the strategy? Is it tax?
No, it's not.
For tax?
It's not for. In fact, I don't even know that it could benefit.
This is your Oak and Take
Foundation. Yeah,
yes.
I didn't even know that it could benefit in terms of tax until we had already done it.
Okay.
My husband now mentioned that that this is, and I don't even think that we've even used that to up till today to get any tax and benefit. We haven't. But for me, I would say that for years, I'd always so when I'm going to like Orile, or there's some place I'm going to for work, and I'm passing through like a government school, and I can already see the students, because there are no windows, they are overcrowded, it's just everywhere is just looking sort of, I'm just like, learning should be more than this, like, they should be able to learn in a place that is appealing, even if it's not like grand, at least like a decent. So I'm always getting upset when I'm passing. I'm always getting upset. When I get home, I'm telling my husband I'm upset, and it's like, okay, if you're upset, you probably will have to do something about it. Then for hospitals as well, like I to the glory of God, like my family and we enjoy very good health, so we hardly go to the hospital. So but the few times that I've had to go, maybe take my daughter to immunization to like all these local government hospitals, you see how everywhere it's just like somebody can literally walk in healthy and come out sick from from just the whole way it is, and I'm just like, no, this shouldn't be. And I mean, thank God, so our second daughter, I had her in America, and I saw when I gave it to my second daughter, the hospital bill was for 3 days. My second day, they said that you can be discharged now, but because of the way they were feeding me, I said that I'm gonna stay the 3 days, because it's looking like a hotel. So I'm not joking. I thought just that I'm not discharging myself.
I'm not ready.
I need to spend the money has to be complete. And that's how comfortable and conducive the place. I'm thinking about it now. I don't remember. Maybe I should go and pregnant. Lodge, or maybe I'll go and pregnant, and then So that's why I was like, why can't it be my own country? Because my country now, they can't relate with such things like that. So that's what really informed it. And then also in place of prayers, I'd gotten a word that said that the company would restructure Nigeria's infrastructure in the areas of healthcare and education.
Wow.
And so then my husband is so he loves teaching. He's a teacher of the word, teacher, like anything. My husband makes things simple. He will teach you. So in the education part, he then wants to work on the like education while I'm working on like the ambience and the environment. So that's how the Okantik Foundation has come out. So when we launched in 2021, we did 5 projects. So three schools and 2 hospitals. So the whole idea is that for schools, either government schools or low income schools that they take some small money, maybe 10k 20k, and they can even barely make profits, ends meet, even maybe teachers, they're not really paying them so well, so they will literally not be able to afford doing any renovation. So that one of the schools that we went to, the primary schools, just took the library and renovate it. It's a primary school. Like you could tell how happy the children were. They were so excited. They were like, they probably don't want to go to class again. They just want to be coming to the library to come and read and all that. So like little. So it's not like it was something grand. Like one of the hospitals, Egbeda Medical Center.
To you, it wasn't grand.
Yes, to me it wasn't grand. So Egbeda Medical Center, for example, we did like their maternity ward.
Wow.
So we renovated it, and the plan was even like, okay, when we have before I wanted to spread out.
Yes.
But I just looked at it, like, okay, I looked when they took me to the theater. It was nothing to write home about, and just maybe like 2-3 million, the whole place would be set up with the right equipment. So those are the things that we are looking at, and just really doing spreading God's love all around.
This is so beautiful, because I like the story behind it. So there was a cause. You saw what obtained here. Your first daughter was born here.
Yes.
And second daughter born there. So that there was a disparity in the quality. And education, you kept. So it wasn't something you said, oh, let's do. It was already something burning in your heart.
And I think that I also got that from my dad as well. So my dad pastored a church, like a Redeemed church, and with his office, they were able to take Ojodu Grammar School, and then they built, I think, 2 blocks of 12 or 24 classrooms.
Wow.
Built from ground to top, furnished, did everything. So that he already had, so he does that, like. And then in terms of like hospital, he partners with like all these last that people that need to do some surgeries and they don't have money. So he partners with them, their surgeons and stuff like that. So I think that for some reason I've taken some of those from your dad. Some of that from my dad.
That's beautiful. Then grow with Rennie.
Yes. Like this one is my best part. Like my baby is my. It's my, you know how it is now. Once you start something new, it's gingering. So I
last born for now.
Last born for now. I know. So how did Grow with Rennie start? So I'm grateful to God for some of the influence that I have on people, and people that reach out to me that say, oh, I inspire them, or can you be my mentor? From this I get it a lot, and like this mentor, even myself, I'm even looking for mentor. Anybody can mentor me, I will collect. So
sorry, let me chime in. The first Grow with Rennie. Just the week before, you were serving in another.
No, like 2 days before.
2 days before.
2 days before, yes.
Before your own program, you went to serve in
another
program.
Yes.
I think that just blew my mind. I thought to put that out there. But please,
thank you.
Please continue.
But I'll still mention that as well.
Yes.
So, by the end of, I think middle of 2021. Yeah. The requests were getting too much that I could not ignore at this point. So I just, started praying about it, and I was like, God, okay, I'm hearing you. If that's it, so how do you want me to do this? And I remember it was one of my friends, Funto Iboye. Her company was turning 5 at Marriott, so she had like an event thing.
We're there.
We're there. So I was sitting down beside someone, and then he just scribbled down something and said, God wants you to mentor young ladies. Wow. And I was like, okay. So it was like, a big confirmation. And I said, okay, no problem. This was November 1st. And then I just kept it. Well, it kept on coming, going. Then I remember first day of work in January of 2022, it came again. I remember I was sitting at the boardroom with my team members. We're discussing Okantico. It came again in my head, and I just said, no, Rennie, act on it now, because if you don't act on it, you'll keep pushing it, and then you don't know how many destinies are tied to this, and how many people that need to leave depression right now, like just because of this program. That's what it will do for them. Or this person needs clarity for this, and because you are wasting time, you are prolonging it. So it was burning inside of me. I just quickly called my EA that, please let me do flyer. If you do flyer, at least if I post it now, once I post it, it's already law. You don't go with that. So we did that under like 30 minutes, and I posted it. I dropped my phone. I continued my work. By the time I picked up my phone, under an hour, I was told that over 1,000 people had registered. I was like, wow, just under one. So immediately, like, it wasn't up to 2 hours. We had to short it because I could only take 10. My capacity is 10. So the more you allow people to register, the more work you have for you. So we now had to, screen and then get 10. And the beautiful thing about, people from different places registered, Nigeria, Kenya, UK, Canada, America, Australia, South Africa. I'm sure that by now, and not everybody that we take, but I'm sure by now if we check, I'm sure that people from over 20 countries have applied. Yes. So, so the first quarter went, it was beautiful. Second quarter as well. But then every time that we have to reject people, it felt really bad. I almost felt like I was throwing people away, or I just always felt thankfully I'm not the one that sends rejection emails. But the person that sends it, I don't know if she feels that way. I want it to work, but for me, when I hear that they have to do that, it's like really sad. So this year, I think 10 days to my birthday, it just occurred to me that you really are very passionate about this thing, and you feel bad that people did not get in. And by the way, I think by May we had like over 5,000 people that are registered in total. So I was like, no problem, that maybe I should just do like a 1-day mentorship program for those people that couldn't get, but so it would be like a crash course, and they come ask your questions, learn from people that have gone ahead, that are successful, which you were part of our speakers. Yes. And so and that's what happened. So under 10 days, we planned everything, like and my big sister was doing a conference, and I told her that I want to be a part of this, let me volunteer and all that, and volunteered for 2 days. And it was shocking. We were sending messages that I can't believe that someone like you can be volunteering. I said, who is someone like me? Like, why can't I volunteer? And in the midst of it, while I was volunteering, obviously, like I met, because I was in hospitality and I had to cater to important guests and all. Everybody's important, but like the VIPs and all. And during one of the people that I met, I don't know if you know him, Vusi, like he's the motivational speaker from South Africa. And so people were coming, taking pictures with him and all that, but I was attending to him, and I'd given him food, water, everything. I was just on my own. So I think it was just like 5 minutes after he had spoken, and they were just waiting for the car to come. He sat down. I was thinking in my head, should I introduce myself? Should I not introduce? Should I introduce myself? In my mind, I was like, there's no need. Let me focus on the work that I want to do. But for some reason, I just said, let me just speak to him. I mean, not the picture I want to snap a picture. I don't want to snap a picture with you. I just want to speak with you. And so I spoke to him, and in 1 minute and 34 seconds, I sold myself to him. I told him all the things that I do, what I accomplished, to the glory of God, yada yada. And he was like, wow, how old are you? I said, I'm 33. I'll be turning 34 in a few days. I was like, please, I would love to interview you on my podcast. Like, would you love to come? I was like, oh, sure. Like, yeah, like anytime. And it was like, okay, can I get your contact? Can I get your number? Blah, blah, and that was it. And, it was like, okay, I have like this mentorship circle, would you like to join? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then, puts me on it. By the time, I think like few days after was one of like their meetings, people from different places, like from Europe, from, Middle East, different. I think we're like only 2 Nigerians actually that were on it. And, it began to talk to people about me and my business, that he went to check Okantik, that he was that he was just like, wow, who is this amazing lady? And, he was like, and then he was just like, that it was from that he met me from a place of service, that he was humble by that he doesn't think that he would that he would go and volunteer at somebody's event, but that he checked my page and everything, and saw that I was doing amazing, and he wouldn't think that I would want to volunteer. But just look at how everything has happened. So, but for me, it wasn't really a big deal. Like, it was just, I'm more of a person of act of service. Like, I always find, if anyone asks me to describe myself, I'll say Morenike is a person that finds different expressions to help people. So any way or anyhow that I can help, my antenna's already going, okay, how can I be of help? Either with my time, with resources, with money.
I must say,
in different ways. I will just always try.
I know. Sorry,
Yeah.
I just want to put this out there. What she does, what she says outside, how she helps other people, right? Is so how an iceberg just shows up and is really like 90% inside. So what that she's doing for
screaming.
others is infinitesimally smaller than what you don't know actually. So somebody just says, oh, she helped me with this. Oh, and we got to know a lot of that at the Grow with Rennie conference, and I think it's very beautiful. So, Grow with Rennie, Okantik Foundation. Now back to your business. What's the future of Okantik, the business now? What's the plan? You've done for the who's who in Nigeria, and do you just have Nigerian clients?
No.
Okay.
So, and we just recently expanded into the US market.
Amazing.
So we registered Okantik in the US.
Okay.
And the plan is to, in fact, funny enough, I had like people reach out to me that live in the US. I want to work for the brand. But we are still working on like the structure and how we want to. We just register, and that's one thing about once I think about something, we just do it first. Then you will be figuring it out.
Yes. So 10 years,
yes,
Okantik.
Yes.
Where's
in
Okantik?
Another 10 years?
Yes.
I mean, like, I know that there will be other companies that will have been birthed under the brand. That's one. So more lives that will be transformed. So at this point now, what is inspiring me right now is impact. Having more people, getting value for that, and then impacting people that, what the resources can do. So for me, that's like, the next big thing. Like, go hard now on impact.
Beautiful. I'm going to ask a question. Your business is the direct question, and I hope you answer.
Okay.
What will you say your business net worth is?
The net worth. To say in terms of like dollars, in terms of like naira,
in terms of yuan, in terms of Kenyan shillings.
You say it's
is
Kenyan
there
shillings.
anyone you want to call it?
This question that is security reasons. So, but I mean, like, I would say that I'm going to quickly count how many figures that is in it. I'm sorry.
That's a good problem. If it was just one comma or one comma after the 3 zeros.
I think you're looking at about in 10 figures.
Yeah. USD.
No.
Okay.
I need to be sure.
Naira. Okay. I like this.
10 figures in naira.
Okay, 9 figures is billion. Okay, 10 figures, tens of billions. I like
No. 9 figures is hundreds of millions. Then
10 figures is billions. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm talking to a mathematician. See me.
I
graduated as the best in maths in secondary school, and I'm feeling good. How many figures I could not calculate?
I'm screaming. That's why I needed to quickly just count.
Thank
but
you.
We are covered with the blood of Jesus. With the blood of Jesus.
Thank you very much, and see you next time.